Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Wisco Fanatics. You have Jake all by himself tonight. I have family plans tomorrow, so I will be with my kids and my father and my stepmother. We're going to be going to do some stuff with the kids, and I won't be here for the show. So I'm going to do mine tonight. Everybody's welcome to come join. I'm going to go over my topics. So, how it works is Tyler has his topics, I have my topics. We all drafted four of them offense, defense. Everybody had a fair shot at whatever they wanted, and these are what I chose. So, the first thing that I took was run defense. And the run defense, and we're going into, let me get into this real quick here. So, I'm going to recap the Packers and Lions defense. That's where I'm going to start. Um, the run defense is one of my topics, one of my three topics on the defensive side of the ball. So for the run defense, Montgomery and Gibbs, they had all right games. They've had better games. They've had worse games. Let's go to the comments here, see if anybody's commenting. Hello, viewer. um, but that offensive line is monsters. So for what the Packers held them to and the pressure that they got on Jared Goff and forcing turnovers, it really felt like the run defense wasn't as effective as it normally is. They held the Lions. Well, the Lions got 31 rushes for 140 yards and a touchdown. Monty had 15 carries for 71 yards. He had the one rushing touchdown. Hi, Greg. How you doing? I'm just solo tonight, buddy. So bear with me. It might be a little rough. This is going to be a little shorter live. Obviously, don't have somebody to play my ideas off of. So Gibbs had 11 rushes for 54 yards and 0 touchdowns, 4.9 yard average. Montgomery had a 4.7 yard average. You put them two together, they had 26 carries for 125 yards. They averaged 4.8 yards. Really, I felt like the Packers weren't really honing in on the run. They had some monster run stops early in the game that kind of took the Lions out of it, where the Lions were forced to pass the ball, and obviously we had a strip sack that led to a touchdown, had a couple other fumbles. The defense I thought was very good. We go to the rest of the rush defense here. Jared Goff had 3 carries for 9 yards. Khalif Raymond had 1 for 6. And Jalen Reeves-Maybin had 1 carry for 0 yards. So all in total, they averaged 4.5 yards per carry. Not terrible. This is just between Monty and Gibbs right here. Never rough. Golden. I'm trying my best, Greg. So in the first half, we gave up rushes of 1, 2, 3, 0, 3, 5, 2, 4, 5, 2, 9, 2, 6, 2. That's 14 for 46. Like I said, it didn't feel like they were really killing us with the run, where the thing that kind of gets people is when they give up the big gains, right? All the missed tackles, or, somebody gets outside, we didn't set an edge. And I felt like they did a solid job of that. Well, then in the second half, they had a rush for 23. So their first rush of the second half was half of their yards in the first half. So, I mean, one big play. Then they had a rush of 1 yard, 6 yards, 6 yards, 6 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, 6, 4, 4, 6, 4, 2, 3. So 15 for 79. So really, like I said, the run offense, if they didn't hand it off 30 times, I don't think they would have got this many yards. They ran the ball 31 times, so they're going to get some yards. They're a run-first offense. They're a play-action offense. And, oh, boy, do I have some stuff to talk to you about Jordan Love off play action, because he's been very good off of it. I know Tyler's licking his chops. He's going to talk about it tomorrow, I'm sure. But overall, we don't really do grades, but if I had to give the run defense a grade, I would have gave it a solid B to B plus. I thought it was good. I thought it was sustainable. And I thought it was consistent. So that's everything that you need to give yourself a chance, right? Now we're going to move on to third down defense. This is my second topic on defense. Third down defense, the Lions were 7 of 15 on third down. 5 of those 7 third down conversions were on 3rd and 3 and shorter. Greg said the Green Bay D came to play versus the Lions. They hit like they meant it, for real, first snap. From first snap. That level of energy and hustle was supreme to observe. I hope that same high energy continues for the remainder of our games. I 100% agree, Greg. Um, I'll just say this. They had this game circled, and you could tell. It goes back to the Badgers, right? And I always like to make correlations between teams because it gets people thinking and it gets people like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So for me, the thing that mattered about them circling this game was when Braylon Allen said that he had the Illinois game circled, right? And Braylon Allen had a few rough games. He was banged up. The Badgers obviously were struggling to get it going, and he said he had that game circled, and you could tell he ran with some attitude. And the Green Bay front seven and offensive line, I talked about it last week, so I'm just gonna pat myself on the back. Go back here. That's Chargers. Don't want that. Lions. My matchup last week was Packers versus the line of scrimmage because I talked about the Lions coming into Green Bay, and they absolutely dominated the line of scrimmage. They owned us from the first snap. They owned us on both sides of the ball. They were getting after Love. They were absolutely mauling our front seven, and it was an ugly game. That game was not as close as the score was, and I feel equally about this game. I feel like the game wasn't as close as the score was. And the third down defense was a big indicator on that. When they got the 3rd and 3s, they were 5 of 6. When they got the 3rd and 4 and 6s, when we were able to pin our ears back a little bit, 1 for 5. When we get the 3rd and 7s and longer, the long ones, the 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 13s, right? They were 1 for 4. And then you get the 4th down. And boy, oh boy, do I have some stuff to say about this. They were 1 for 5. They picked up their last one, so they started 0 of 4. The thing I have to say about the 4th downs is everybody's, oh, they're biting kneecaps. They're so aggressive. I love it. They're so fun to watch. America's team, right? We're always looking to give somebody America's team title. At a certain point, when you're going for it on 4th downs, it becomes toxic. That's the word that came to my mind as my cat's trying to jump on my couch as I'm talking about this. She must be really excited about all the failed 4th downs here. It just becomes toxic, and you go back to that fake punt, and that was absolutely unnecessary if you're a Lions fan. Yes, you're struggling. You're turning the ball over. You're trying to give them a jolt of energy. But let me tell you something. That is not the way. Let's see what Greg said. Everything on D fed off our superior rush. Then the turnovers blunted the Lions' entire mood and execution. Every Lions head coach Campbell on down looked like, yeah, they and you know what? Talking about that, Greg, one of my favorite sayings, and everybody always looks at me weird when I say this. I was like, one of my favorite sayings, they're looking for like something clever, I guess. But one of my favorite sayings is everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. You could learn a lot from that if you really think about it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Again, let me tell you something. Life's going to punch you in the mouth. It's going to keep punching you. It's going to keep trying to punch you. You don't have to take the punch, or you can just get used to it. You can just keep trucking along. That's what good teams do, right? The Packers have gotten punched in the mouth quite a few times this season, and it's been tough to watch. Execution hasn't been great all the time, but the Packers did the punching on Thursday. The Lions gave a little jab there when they tied it at 7, but pretty much after that, it was just the Packers punching, in my opinion. The 3rd downs, I'm going back to 4th downs here. I'm going off on tangents all the time now. This is why I need Tyler. What's up, Mikey Mike? So the 4th downs, the fake punt was just absolutely an atrocious call, in my opinion. You don't go for it in that situation. And if you are going to go for it, this is where coaches sometimes overthink themselves, in my opinion. You're not tricking anybody, okay? Tyler and I broke that play down. I believe that was Monday. The days all go together when you wake up at 2:45 a.m. I'll tell you that. It's already Thursday. Wow. But Enagbare did an absolutely tremendous job setting the edge on that, forcing 42 to make a decision to cut inside, and Lucas Van Ness did an absolutely phenomenal job with the hustle to run down the line and take him down. You ask why they draft certain players with certain traits. And you look at a guy like LVN, and you looked at the one thing that they talked about, the main thing that they talked about, first of all, his physique is phenomenal. The guy literally looks like Hercules, dude. Like, seriously, look at the size of his hands. I mean, the guy is just a monster. He doesn't even look like he's wearing shoulder pads sometimes. It's crazy. But then the one thing that they talked about was the nonstop motor, and that's where that shows up, right? On a big fourth down, on a fake punt, and those are scenarios that us as fans we're not really thinking about. But Goot is in his office right now, doing some draft prep work right now, I'm assuming, and he's looking at all that stuff, man, and that stuff matters, and it shows up on a Thanksgiving Day at 11 a.m. as the Packers are trying to make some late noise in the season, right? And now here we are, and this is where the consistent optimism really shows up for us. So I'm going to go to pass rush, and I might talk about Rashawn Gary a little bit. So we look at the totals here. We had 3 sacks, and they're all from the Michigan man, Rashawn Gary. He was tremendous. He was literally just beating the shit out of Decker all day. Going into the Week 4 matchup, the story of the game was, oh, the Lions are getting Taylor Decker back. Hopefully he could slow down Rashawn Gary. And you have to remember that Gary was still recovering from the ACL, and he was still on a snap count, and there was stuff he was still working through. But I'll tell you what, on Thanksgiving Day, almost a little over a year since he tore his ACL, he absolutely looked 100%, and I'm here for it. Let's check a comment here from Greg. Greg said, like Mike Wall's pod, it's all about one-on-one matchups. If you win more than them, great things happen. And for us, it did. Green Bay just put the entire line. Oregon noticed that this season may not be a cakewalk. I agree to that. And you know what else they did, Greg? They said that we're here. We're not coming. We're here. We have an elite pass rusher. We have skilled wide receivers. We have a quarterback. And that's the main thing, is a quarterback. And the offensive line played tremendous. I want to give a big shout out to the offensive line. I'm really sad I'm not going to be there tomorrow to listen to Simon talk about the offensive line. But, man, did they play so good. There was times where Love was legitimately standing in the pocket, and I'm like, get rid of it, or just run. But he's just calm and cool, collected. He looks a lot better. But yeah, the Lions know that after all their struggles, this is supposed to be their moment, right? There's a reason we didn't get a turkey leg, right? There's a rumor out there that the turkey had a Lions logo on it because everybody in the world thought the Lions were going to win and the Packers were just going to roll over. That's not how this works, man. The Packers are the Packers for a reason. The 49ers are the 49ers for a reason. You know, you can say the same thing about the Cowboys, the Steelers. They're brands for a reason. They're always good. They draft well. They develop well. They have good coaches. They just have that. I mean, they just have it, man. Those are the cornerstone franchises in this league. And for a long time, it was the Patriots when they had Tom Brady, right? But now they don't, and you're seeing the difference. So let's get back to the pass rush here real quick. So 3 sacks, again, they go to Rashawn Gary. He now has 9 on the season, so he's having a tremendous year for a guy coming off of an ACL injury. You go to the quarterback hits. Kingsley Enagbare led that stat with 3. Preston Smith added 2. Lucas Van Ness, Devontae Wyatt, Carl Brooks, future stud, and current stud Kenny Clark all had 1. Our D-line really made life miserable for Goff and company. Yeah, they did. And we have so many, oh my God. And I said it on the primer. I said in 2 years, because I was all in, right? As I'm doing my research in the offseason, I'm looking how we're drafting, looking how we're filling holes on this team. And I'm understanding Goot's vision, you know, in the offseason when I'm looking at everything like, okay, he likes this guy for this. He likes this guy for this. Plug this guy here. Watson, they drafted him last year because he's a big jump ball guy. And you're looking at this defensive line and you're looking at the LVN draft pick and you're thinking to yourself, like, Carl Brooks, Devontae Wyatt, Kenny Clark's still young enough. I mean, this defensive line is just going to be disgusting. Hi, Barry. How you doing, buddy? You can give me your weather report. I'm going to give mine as well. Thursday weather report this week, my man. The Packers' defensive line is absolutely going to destroy people in the next couple seasons. Carl Brooks is going to absolutely be a problem. He's already a problem. You look at a guy like Devontae Wyatt, he's quietly having one of the best seasons, in my opinion. Colby Wooden is having an underrated season. And you still got guys like Preston Smith, who technically isn't a linebacker. You're giving yours tomorrow night. Okay. Let's see. You can give yours tomorrow. I'll give mine tonight. Greg said, my unsung hero to date is rookie D lineman from Bowling Green with his atrocious RAS score. Guess NFL metrics can't yet measure. Yeah, that's the thing, man, is they take like size into consideration and a bunch of weird random stuff. But you know what they don't measure? This thing right here. They don't measure that. Because that you can't measure that. That shows up on the field. And, you go back to the sacks, and I talked about Rashawn Gary, and actually there's a tremendous quote that I wanted to go over here. So let me get it up. It's from Romeo Dobbs, and he was talking about Rashawn Gary. And I just wanted to bring this up because Rashawn Gary is just a monster. Yes, Brooks is the guy you referenced above. Romeo Dobbs on Rashawn Gary. That's a guy who you would want to go to war with every single day, and it shows. Every week he plays with a heavy heart, he plays with swag, he plays with confidence. It's just great to be with somebody like him. And I couldn't have said it better myself, honestly. Rashawn Gary is. And the interview, yes, they do start soon. There's a reason I'm going live at 6 o'clock. Rashawn Gary, after the game, they gave him the game ball, and he said in the locker room, I'm sick and tired of crying in front of you guys, man. And you just really feel like you could feel that guy's energy, and that's a guy that you want to be teammates with. That's a guy that you want to go the extra mile with. That's a guy where if you have to, give extra effort on a play, you're going to do it, right? Bulls are going down, by the way, Barry. So the pass rush, Gary was the mainstay, right? He's the star. Quarterback hits and hurries, those matter too. So quarterback hurries, we had 21 of them. A third of them went to one man who got called out on this podcast specifically, not really saying he sucks, but we have standards that we set for our best players. So Kenny Clark is one of our best players, so we set a standard for him. We know what kind of player he could be. He set standards for himself too, so I don't think that's a bad thing. But Kenny Clark, 7 hurries. That's amazing. He had a bunch of plays where there was no recorded stats where he was absolutely just beating the shit out of the guards on the Lions. He was a beast on Thursday. Carl Brooks with 4, Preston Smith with 3, Quay Walker with 2, Lucas Van Ness, Kingsley Enagbare, Devontae Wyatt, TJ Slayton, and Rashawn Gary all added hurries. That adds up to 21 hurries. That means we were in the backfield a lot. So let's move on to the offense here. I like talking defense. I'm a defensive guy. I played defense when I played high school football. When I used to watch the Badgers a lot when I was a kid, and then when Jim Leonard was there, obviously he was there last year. But when we first got Jimmy Leonard, I'm a big defensive guy, man. I just love suffocating somebody, man. Greg said, great to see Gary get game ball and hug from the floor, and then his tears flowed down his cheeks. Pretty humble guy. What a beast. Yeah, we are just so blessed, honestly, with great athletes in this state. Rashawn Gary is just a great guy who just wants to rip the opposing quarterback's head off. So, I mean, you couldn't draw up a better star pass rusher for the Packers, in my opinion. Love that guy. We got Giannis. I mean, we have great guys on the Brewers staff. I mean, the Brewers got Corbin Burns, Yelich. I mean, yesterday, Tyler and I did an interview talking about Jackson Cheerio a bunch. That guy's going to be a monster. Pre-order your jerseys right now because he's going to be a superstar. You go to the Badgers, I mean, guys like Braylon Allen. Braylon Allen's a very down-to-earth guy who literally is the size of a Mack truck. So, I mean, we're blessed with some pretty great guys. Um, Going to offense, I only have one offensive topic. One sec. I only have one offensive topic, and that is red zone offense. So I usually write down every single play in the red zone. I don't start at first downs outside the red zone. I just start when they enter the red zone. So the 20-yard line and in is the plays that I write down. So 20 yards and in, our first series in the red zone, Dylan had a 4-yard rush and got to the 10-yard line. This is obviously the first drive after the big 58-yarder to Christian Watson to open the game, which made everybody perk up a little bit, I'll say. First and goal at the 10, Dylan then ran for no gain. Second and goal, the touchdown to Jaden Reed was just ridiculous. I mean, let's be honest. And Rodgers, I know we don't really want to talk about him. He's not our quarterback anymore, but he still is a pretty smart guy. He went on the Pat McAfee show and was talking about that play, actually, and he was talking about how there was no way that one route was supposed to be a slant, one route was supposed to be an out route. Yeah. I talked about all the sacks. I talked about Rashawn Gary beating the hell out of Decker. That was awesome to see. I felt like the Packers D line they set the tone, in my opinion. They set the tone. They came out. I mean, obviously, getting a big pass play and then going down and scoring a touchdown is a pretty good tone setter as well. We've been waiting for that all season, but I feel like the Packers defensive line, if we would have started on defense, I think they would have set the tone. They continued the tone, I guess you could say. We are Cowboys fans tonight, sadly. Just like we were Bears fans. It's been a weird week, man. We had to cheer for the Bears and the Cowboys. So hopefully the Cowboys can win. I don't see why they won't. I don't think the Seahawks are overly good. Also, the game is in Dallas, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, Reggie. I believe the game is in Dallas. So hopefully the Cowboys can win. And hopefully the Packers can get a W this weekend. I mean, I think they could do it. I'll get into that in a second. But let me finish my stuff about the red zone offense here. Greg's just adding comments and just I am correct. Okay. I think Rodgers faked his injury to be on Pat's show and pull it over on us. Barry, I don't think that, man. I know that Rodgers is looked at as kind of petty, but I mean, what's the point? I mean, he's 38, 39 years old now. Not 39 yet. Actually, in a couple days he'll be 39. He's 39 years old now. So I mean, what does he really gain? I mean, he's going to play maybe one more year. I mean, he's coming back from an Achilles injury, and he's always been a guy who's been driven by doubters, right? So everybody's going to doubt him, and he's going to be a great comeback story, and it's going to be horrible to watch, to be honest with you. But we got a good, exciting team, so I'm not going to be that focused on it. I don't think that he pulled one over on us. It is. Yeah, go Big T. Yeah, we got to cheer for Mike McCarthy again. That feels wrong. So let's go back to the red zone offense here. So that touchdown to Love to Reed was absolutely ridiculous. I know Tyler broke that play down on Monday, but that ball was not supposed to fit in there. I mean, that literally hit him in the middle of the numbers, and he wears the number 11. There's not a lot of room between those numbers. Just say that. Get to the second one. 1st and 10 at the 18. Love hits Watson for 8. Tyler had that play broken down as well. That was an impressive catch. Love maybe could have got rid of it a little bit sooner. I do agree with Tyler on that, but great catch. I mean, the timing on that wasn't terrible, so I'll take the 8 yards, right? And Watson playing to his 6'5" frame is good for this offense, obviously. We have 2nd and 2 at the 10 then. A.J. Dillon rushes for 1 yard. So then you get to 3rd and 1, and this is the play where LaFleur was kind of, going frantic on the sidelines, talking to the refs. And he thought that we got a first down. He thought there was a signal for a first down, so he called a play for a 1st and goal. But it was actually 3rd and 1 at the 9. And I am so in love with chip and release plays from tight ends. This is the new biggest play in the NFL, in my opinion. The chip and release from the tight ends. You have so many tight ends now that are 6'5", 6'6". These boys are coming out 6'7", 6'8". They're weighing anywhere from 240 pounds to 280 pounds. I mean, that's literally the range, man. And these boys can all run, and it's crazy. But Tucker Kraft, baby Gronk, as some people call him, he did an absolutely tremendous job selling this. First of all, he stands up Aiden Hutchinson, which Aiden Hutchinson's been playing pretty soft last couple of weeks, in my opinion. Yeah. But Tucker Kraft did a great job selling this. Stood up Aiden Hutchinson, released him. Love drops it right into the bucket, as my son would say. I told him I was going to try to talk a little bit cooler, so he would still think I'm cool. I always strive to be the cool dad. But Love drops it right in the breadbasket, and Tucker Kraft gets his first ever touchdown on Thanksgiving Day. Couldn't have drew it up better myself, honestly. Tremendous job. So then you go to the next one, our next play in the red zone. So we had 2 drives that got to the red zone, and we had 2 touchdowns. So we were absolutely cooking at this point. The next play in the red zone was a 4th and 1 at the 14. We tried to run A.J. Dillon up the middle. That was the play where Love and Dillon ran into each other, and it was just kind of a busted play. And that's the kind of stuff we're going to get. We're going to get the throws to Jaden Reed. We're going to get the amazing plays that happen to Tucker Kraft where he ends up wide open. That's the talent showing. And then we're going to get the, oh, crap, I forgot which way to go. That stuff's going to happen because they're young and they're inexperienced. And they don't understand everything all the time. That's okay. They're learning. Let's just let them learn, okay? Not everybody has to sit there and be a couch GM or a couch coach and try to be right about everything. That's the worst thing that social media has done to people, is everybody thinks they're an expert on everything. And you're not, okay? There's things that everybody needs to learn. And the Packers are learning right now. Let's just tune in on Sundays or Mondays or Tuesdays. I don't give a shit what day. I don't give a shit what time. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be watching the Packers. I'm going to be cheering them on because that is my job as a fan. All I'm allowed to do is just cheer them. So then we get to the next play. The next play was a 3rd and 3 from the 16, and that was the touchdown that Love threw to Watson. So we ran 3, 6, 9, 10 total plays in the red zone. We had 3 touchdowns in those 10 plays. In those 10 plays, Jordan Love went 4 for 4 for 43 yards and 3 touchdowns. That is good. That is amazing. You literally can't do better than that. Besides throwing 1 more touchdown, so every completion would have meant for a touchdown. But other than that, hats off to you, Jordan Love. You played a tremendous game. One last thing that I want to talk about real quick is we always talk about time of possession and total plays. The Lions ran 78 plays to the Packers 54 plays. That is ridiculous. And this game ended 29-22. They scored a touchdown to not make it look like a blowout with 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter when the Packers were really just playing prevent defense. I mean, go back and look at it. They're sagging off. They're allowing Amon-Ra to just come back and get all these, 8 yards, 9 yards, 11-yard catches. I mean, really. And by the way, Betty knows their fucking names now. Boy wanted to talk about here and couldn't name nobody on our defense, man. Come on now. Get out of here with that. So, let's go to the banner real quick here. Oh, banners. Okay. Oh, I think I have to talk about... Nope, wrong one. I apologize. That's not my topic. That is Bryant's topic. And I'm not stealing nobody's thunder today. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch to the Chiefs. Okay? Packers versus Chiefs. I'm not answering any questions about Taylor Swift. I literally could not give a shit less if she's there. I'd prefer she does not go. Because when I sit my butt on my couch at 7:20 on Sunday night, I want to watch the Packers versus Chiefs. I don't need to see Simone Biles. Love that her boyfriend's on the team. I was texting it in the group. Jonathan Owens is a dog today. He was a freaking dog. He was he played one of the best box safeties I've seen in a long time from a Packer. If she's performing halftime, I'm glad I'm not going to be there. I literally could not care any less if she goes. I just want to watch football. That's all I care about. I don't give a shit what Taylor Swift is doing. I don't care if she's wearing. I don't care if she says. I don't care about Taylor's version. I don't care about their recording. I don't give a shit. Don't care. Okay? Just keep it about football. It was cute the first couple of weeks. Now it's annoying. So as we go to this, I'm gonna start with the Packers Chiefs, the Packers offense versus the Chiefs defense. So you look at the rankings, right? Amen. I agree. I couldn't agree with myself more. I couldn't agree with you more, Barry. Still a little mad you took my weather job, though. But they're going to need a weatherman tomorrow night because I won't be there. So thanks for filling in. It's not a paid gig, though. You got to do it on your own time. So Packers offense, total yards, they averaged 324. They're up to 18th. The last couple of weeks, they're at 21st, so they actually went up. The pass offense, 222.1. They're 16th. They were 21st in that as well, so they're going up. Rush offense, 102.7, still 21st. Points per game, they averaged 21. They were under 20 for a long time this season. They're up. They're 17th, so they're doing all right. Let's read a comment from Greg. Right, we as fans are experts on absolutely nothing. I sit around family and friends whom critique and misplay, and now I just keep any reply all to myself. You can't fix stupid. And you know what, Greg? If I could flip this to a life lesson, stop worrying about what people think about you. Have you met people? I know people I work with. Do you think I'm gonna care what they think about me? I watch them pick their own boogers, man. Come on, get real. Don't care about what people think about you, okay? Just do you. So we're gonna get back now that I'm done giving life lessons. Chiefs defense is pretty elite, in my opinion. Not all people, Barry. There's some good ones. I think you're a good one, Barry. I think Greg's a good one. Reggie's a good one. I think I'm a good one. I think I'm a good person. I try to be, at least. Chiefs defense, they're pretty elite, in my opinion. 290 total yards, that's fourth. Pass defense, 176.6, fourth. Rush, this is the one area where you can get them. 113.4 they give up. That's 19th in the NFL. And 16.5 points per game. That's third in the NFL in points per game given up. Greg says, right, I could care less what Taylor Swift thinks or does, but I fully expect 111 camera shots on her up in the luxury box section. Ugh. I agree. Also, all the people that are posting about, remember when Jordan Love's mom had the worst seats in the stadium for his first start? We need to give Taylor Swift bad seats. Okay. We don't need there's a time and place for everything. And I don't think the time and place to match energy is when we're trying to be petty about where somebody sits. I mean, first of all, Taylor Swift's not going to sit for that. That'd be horrible PR for the Packers if Taylor Swift says something. Not that I care, but there's literally millions of women who care what Taylor Swift says. So if she says something bad about the Packers, there's going to be millions of women that follow that. I say, because getting excited, just hit my laptop here. I say, as people of Wisconsin who are known to be nice, let's just continue to be nice. We don't have to match energy on that. Let's just let everybody be comfortable, welcome them with open arms. Lambeau Field is a beautiful, beautiful place. You are lucky if you've watched the game there, and I am truly blessed to have watched many of games there. And I hope to go to 100 more in my lifetime. Hopefully I exceed that number because I love being at Lambeau, but let's just welcome anybody with open arms, okay? The Man Talk Minute guy will be there at the game. Yeah, he's Charlie Burns is hilarious. He deserves everything that he gets, man. He's a funny guy. So ways to attack this Chiefs defense. I think the Packers have to just stick to the what am I thinking of? Oh, the play action game. Jordan Love has absolutely been killing the play action game. Let me get my stat up here as soon as I find it. I apologize. I had these all together. Oh boy. Where did I put that one? I had it in my notes. Jordan Love, just know that Jordan Love is dominating. I'm going to text Tyler to get that number so he can pick up my slack like he always does. Um, Jordan Love, been tremendous in the play action game. That's what LaFleur wants, right? Um, Not caring about others' opinions has long been my motto. Ask my exes. It's pretty good. Continue to try to dominate the run game. Obviously, I said that the Chiefs' run defense is kind of the weak point of their team, expect on the defensive side of the ball, on offense too, actually. So try to run the ball, establish the run early, establish that physicality. Hopefully, the offensive line comes out ready to block again like they were against Detroit and put on a show for these fans, man. Um, so now we'll switch over to the defense. Excuse me. The Packers defense. I'll go over the rankings for the Packers defense and the Chiefs offense real quickly for you guys here. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. I appreciate that, man. You guys are giving me some confidence here. Um, the Packers defense total, they give up 340 yards. That is 18th in the NFL. 205 passing yards. That's 9th. They give up 135.2 rush yards. That's 27th. Still, obviously, an area of concern and an area where they can improve, right? And the points, they give up 20.4. That's 11th, actually. So they're a bend don't break team. That's that could be a good thing, right? We go to offense, obviously led by Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. I always like to add Andy Reid in there because a lot of people just go, they have Patrick Mahomes, which is true. But Andy Reid's been pretty goddamn good for a pretty good while here. I remember being a little kid and watching the Eagles with Donovan McNabb and Andy Reid was leading them. So let's just say that. Total, they averaged 364.9. They're eighth in the NFL in that area. Passing yards, 258. They're seventh. Rush yards, they average 106.5. That's 17th. And they score 23.3. So their average score is 23-16. Our average score is 21-20. So a lot of nail biters, a lot of close losses, obviously, but the Chiefs aren't really just blowing anybody away. They were struggling last week for a long while against the Raiders, and they ended up pulling that one out. But you know, nothing has come easy for the Chiefs this year. Let's just say that. So now let's go to the banners here. We are going to talk about a matchup that I am watching personally, and I feel like this is my favorite section. That or key. Matchup or key is my favorite section that we do through anything, the recap or the previews. So my matchup is the Lambeau crowd versus Mahomes communication. We got to be as loud as humanly possible. We always tell our kid inside voices, and there's a reason for that, and it's Lambeau Field, right? Lambeau Field, you're able to go there. Yeah, everybody does their day drinking. They go crazy. They're in the parking lot. They're hanging out all day or watching football, right? Because this is a Sunday night football game. So let's just be as loud as humanly possible. Try to give our defense an assist as much as we can. They're going to need it, man, because Patrick Mahomes is not a joke. He's still the best quarterback in the league. Andy Reid has seen everything. So obviously he's communicating that to Mahomes. Also, we got to make sure that Andy Reid remembers Jordan Love's name this time around. I've been seeing that video go around too. I remember when that happened, and I was kind of like, it's a little disrespectful there, Andy. But, you know, he sees a lot of things. So if something slipped his mind, I don't blame him. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. So Lambeau crowd versus Mahomes communication is my matchup. Let's just be as loud as possible, man, if you're going to the game. Okay, so now we're going to move on, or I'm going to move on, not we're. I'm going to move on to my X Factor. My X Factor for this game is win the turnover battle. Packers won the turnover battle versus the Detroit Lions, and obviously that came to be a good thing, right? Does a few things if you win the turnover battle. The crowd gets rowdy. That's going right back to my matchup. getting the crowd into the game, making them loud. If the crowd is loud and you get a turnover at that moment, it's only going to give the crowd more reason to be loud. So then it just gets increasingly harder. Your confidence goes down. They get louder. You can't communicate stuff. You're getting frustrated. Good thing. And also you get Mahomes and company off the field when you get a turnover, obviously, right? So that's a great thing. We don't want them on the field as much as humanly possible. And then it gives your offense some short fields, hopefully. I wrote hopefully in parentheses there because if you're getting turnovers, you're getting short fields, it means that Love and the offense have an advantage. Maybe we could tire the defense out that way because their defense has been pretty damn good. But just does a lot of positives for you when you're in the turnover battle. So now I'm going to move on to my key to the game. So my key to the game is the pass rush has to disrupt the Kansas City offensive timing. Doesn't always have to be sacks, but moving Mahomes will help, obviously. And yes, I know Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes for a reason. The guy can make all the throws. Like there's no doubt about that. He's making touchdown throws with his other freaking hand at certain points in his life. He's going completely perpendicular with the ground and making throws in Super Bowls. I mean, the guy is just amazing. But if you move him and you disrupt the timing and you don't allow Travis Kelce to just eat up the middle of the field and their wide receivers, they lead the NFL in drops. I brought up a stat last week about the Lions being tied for third. Their wide receivers lead the NFL in drops. Travis Kelce is not innocent in that, or Taylor Swift's boyfriend, whatever you want to call her. Call him. But getting to Mahomes, making a move, making him work a little bit, that's a good thing for us. So now is the time. Drum roll, please. It's time for the weather report. So, Barry, I hope you're listening. The weather report that I have found is up to an inch of snow during the day. And it says, and this is a direct quote from the weather report, dress warmly, a chilly evening for football. Sunday night, 29 degrees, real feel of 23 degrees, northwest wind 7 miles per hour. As we go into this Sunday night matchup, that's going to be on NBC if you don't know. Kansas City is favored by 6. The over-under is 42.5. In my opinion, you slam that over. You absolutely slam that over. I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your money, but if it was me, I'd be slamming the over. What was the over-under last week for the Lions game? It was 46. Yeah, just going to say that. Green Bay, this is a comment from Greg. Green Bay cannot allow Mahomes to beat us with his legs. I hope we assign a D spy on him. McDuffie comes to mind. That's a great point. The thing I would say, and I think that Barry's going to do, as we have still some inexperienced guys in the backfield, we're going to be playing zone, which definitely helps against a quarterback that'll scramble because your eyes can still be in the backfield playing a zone. But I think he's going to be honest with you, what I think he's going to try to do. We're close. Things could change weather-wise before my report tomorrow night. All right. Hey, yours is going to be better than mine. That's all I know, Barry. The thing that comes to mind for the Chiefs is I think they're going to try to attack Valentine like the Lions did because Valentine is not giving up shit. He had I'm going to remember now. Okay. All right. He had 5 targets thrown at him. He gave up 4 receptions, and I believe it was for 33 yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown had -1 yards of rack, and that's where Amon-Ra makes his living. He catches the ball a lot, and he runs for extra yards a lot. But he had -1 yards on Valentine. Valentine is absolutely looking to be trending upward, and all of the talk from camp is looking to be very true. Let's go to, so I gave my weather report. I can now do my Simon Says, wherever the Simon Says is. Simon Says. I do not make one. Well, just know I'm doing my Simon Says. So Simon Says is basically bold predictions. What's up, Brian? How you doing, man? I'm not stealing any of your thunder. I left all of your topics alone, man. I just went over my stuff. Valentine is going to run right through them. I hope so, Barry. 21-10 Packers is Reggie's pick. I'm gonna write down your score. I like when you guys comment your scores. I like to write that stuff down. So it could, and Reggie, I'll give you a shout out next week, dude. Like if the score is, say the Packers win 20-10, I'm gonna be like, man, Reggie was goddamn close. So Reggie has 21-10. So Barry, Greg, I want you guys to give me scores. So how we do it is we do head and heart. Head is more analytical. Heart is like if everything goes right. So let me switch my banner here. Oh, there's Simon Says. I gotta do Simon Says first. So you're really close to my score from the head, actually, Reggie. But I'm gonna go over my first. This is a bold prediction. These are bold predictions. And my first bold prediction from the Packers offense is Love outduels Mahomes and throws 5 touchdowns, ensuring that Andy Reid will remember his name. And I'll tell you this, Jordan Love over the last 3 weeks has the 3rd highest QBR in the entire NFL. He has 1/10 a QBR score. He is at 68.1, I believe, over the last 3 weeks. If he's at 68.2, he'd be tied for second. So that means over the last 3 weeks, Love's been playing like the second or third best quarterback in the NFL. That is absolutely astounding. I will say, Reggie, I messed up, by the way. I said it was my head score. It's my heart score, because you guys probably aren't going to like my head score. 5 against this defense would be wild, dude. It would be disgusting, man. I just keep seeing that video surface of Andy Reid not remembering Jordan Love's name, and it just makes me want it so bad. I'll say my second Simon Says for the Packers defense is Packers defense forces 3 turnovers, and that one actually I believe is possible. The Packers are actually even now in the turnover differential after last week, and the Chiefs are -5. Barry has 21-0. That is absolutely insane. If we shut out Patrick Mahomes, that would be nuts. So I went to the dentist today. No cavities, by the way. Your boy don't be getting cavities, so I'm good to go. But I asked my dentist, I said, what's the score of the game? So Greg says 31-28, huh? That would be a great game. My dentist said 21-7, Kansas. I said, damn, that's crazy. So Reggie has 21-10, GB for Greg, and Barry has 21-0 Pack. Barry, you better comment that tomorrow. So let me go to my scores real quick here. Put this up here. Score predictions. So here come my score predictions. My score from the head. This is where I have to be analytical. This is where I have to be real. I have to break everything down, take everything into consideration, right? In my head, if it happens, it's going to be epic. That would be, man, the Fireberry crowd would have a tough day trying to come after us after that. I'll say that much. They did do a pretty damn good job against Detroit, who is also a very good offense, a better offensive line, in my opinion. Much worse quarterback play, better running backs, better wide receivers for the Lions, too. Man, that's not saying that it's going to happen, but I think that could be low score for the Chiefs if things work out. Now that I'm thinking about it here, but my score from the head is 24-20 Kansas City. I think the experience will come into a factor late in the game, and Mahomes will find a way to break our hearts, unfortunately. Not the end of the world if we don't win this one. Make Barry coach if he does. Yeah, that'd be insane. Um, it's not the end of the world if we don't win this one, especially if the Cowboys win tonight. But it wouldn't help us, obviously. Personally, I think it's going to be a defensive game. Yeah, 24-20. I mean, you're getting some scores, but you can also get some defensive scores. That's what people don't really consider. Just like the Packers scored 29, but they had a defensive touchdown, so that helps. Then you get to my heart score. This is if everything goes right. The Packers defense is flying around like they have been. Jordan Love is dealing. I'm going to say 24-13 Green Bay. That one's a little bit more low scoring. I believe that 20 is the number to get to for whoever's going to win. Just like they say in basketball, the first to 100 wins, right? That's the little running joke. But I think the first to 20 in this game is gonna win this one. So with that being said, I just want to thank everybody for joining me and listening to me ramble for the last 50 minutes. Heart Pack wins in overtime. I really hope so, Barry. That would be amazing. I would also be exhausted for work on Monday, but it'd be worth it. Prediction on how many Chief interceptions. Let me take a drink here while I think about it. What if Taylor Swift shows up? Who will win? I don't give a shit. Probably the Packers. Probably the Chiefs. I don't know. I don't think Taylor Swift really has an impact on the game, Dave. And don't ever comment that again because you know how I feel about Taylor Swift. I'll say this. The Green Bay Packers, if they're going to win this game, the pass rush has to show up. We have to run the ball. We have to play off play action, use Jordan Love's feet to his advantage, and we have to find Watson and Reed in space. That's my opinion. LOL, can't wait to see it live in person. Man, I hope you were here when I told you my matchup. My matchup was Lambeau crowd versus Mahomes communication. I literally need you to just be the loudest person of all time. Kenny Clark sacks Taylor Swift, huh? Huh. I think it's more likely that Rashawn Gary would sack her, but just personal opinion. Let's just hope for a good game. Let's hope that the Packers can continue their growth. We are 7 minutes away from Bucks basketball destroying the Chicago Bulls again, so that's great. I hope the Bucks win so bad tonight that the Bulls are forced to trade Levine tomorrow. And I know they're already shopping him, but wouldn't that just be hilarious, right? But anyways, I want to say thank you again to everybody who joined me commenting along. Greg, I hope our young team gets a taste of winning and urges them to bring some lumber to Lambeau versus the Chiefs. Let's match Rodgers' rookie year wins this week. I hope so, Reggie. I really hope so. It would be honestly amazing if Love led the Packers to the playoffs. That would be nuts. I would be like, what? As bad as we've looked at times, as inexperienced as we've looked at times, discombobulated, whatever goddamn word you want to throw out there. For us to even have a chance at it at this moment is insane to me. So let's just go out there, let's play some football, and let's try to get a W. We got 60 minutes, right? So defense got to show up, got to fly around. Darnell Savage returned to practice, so that's a good thing for us. Hopefully Jair can play this week. We're going to need some of that swagger on the outside there. So let's do it. We win the next 10, we win it all. That is true. Also highly unlikely, but here's the hoping, man. I'm for it. But with that being said, I'm going to head out. I'm going to go hang out with my family. Reggie, have fun at the game. Barry, make sure you fill in for me tomorrow. That means that you have to be the comedic relief because that is my role. Greg, thanks for joining. Dave, I'll see you at work tomorrow. Hope everybody has a good night. Go Bucks.